marriage? Are the issues in a typical marriage the same as those in an emotionally abusive marriage? Not at all. I have a lot of folks who reach out to me, a lot of victims of narcissistic and emotional abuse who reach out to me because they want to understand whether or not their marriage problems are typical marriage problems or is it something very different. And I want to assure you, many, many marriage problems are not typical marriage problems. They stem from patterns of narcissistic and emotional abuse. Let me break it down for you. I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute. And I specialize in narcissistic and emotional abuse and understanding it. I want to give you 4 different issues that would differentiate why narcissistic and emotionally abusive marriages are different from typical marriage problems. But a quick overview, they are different in both intensity and intent. And I want to break that down for you. So there's 4 issues that I want you to think about. Number 1, in an emotionally abusive relationship, there are power and control issues as differentiated from simple disagreements. In typical marriages, there are disagreements. Of course there are. That's going to happen. But in an emotionally abusive relationship, emotional abuse is about controlling, manipulating, demeaning the other person. Typical marriage problems, there's not demeaning, there's not control, there's a sense of equality. Not in an emotionally abusive marriage. There is not a sense of equality. And you can start to feel that in a marriage. You should be able to feel in your marriage that you're an equal partner. There is mutuality. You are heard. You are understood. There's not a power differential. You have a voice. He has a voice. She has a voice. There's not one person pushing their agenda. If there's a pushing of an agenda, if there's power and control, that smacks of an emotionally abusive relationship. Or number 2, pattern and persistence. In a typical, relatively healthy relationship, there is conflict, but it's intermittent, it's occasional. And most of the time there is healthiness, and the issues are isolated, they're incidental. But in an emotionally abusive relationship, there is a pattern of behavior. It involves tactics such as gaslighting and criticism and silent treatment or guilt tripping. And those patterns, to play the victim occasionally can be tolerated in a relationship. But if there's a pattern of playing the victim, if there's a pattern of gaslighting, if there's a pattern of ongoing criticism, so in a healthy relationship, in a typical marriage problem relationship, there aren't those patterns of behavior. Number 3, the third differentiator, psychological impact. Victims of emotional abuse often experience low self-esteem, confusion, anxiety, depression. In a typical relationship, there are occasional struggles and occasional incidences where you are anxious or frustrated or so on. In an emotionally abusive relationship, there are patterns. There's ongoing. It is pervasive, and there's a psychological impact. And so, as you're listening to this, by the way, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, there is power and control, check. Ugh, yikes. Ooh, there's a pattern and a persistence to the issues that are occurring. That's a bad sign. 3, there's a psychological impact. You are starting to be wore down. You feel relief when you're away from this partner. And you look forward, you fantasize about getting out. Okay, those are very, very troubling signs. And number 4, accountability. The 4th differentiator are accountability and change. In emotionally abusive relationship, the abuser denies responsibility and blames the victim. In a healthy relationship with typical problems, both partners are usually willing to take responsibility, apologize, and work on the issues. All right, can you see from these four factors? This will help you to determine whether you're in an emotionally abusive relationship. The abuser would often want you to think, hey, these are typical problems. This isn't a big deal. Well, it's a big deal if what we've said, if there is power and control. Take a good, honest, hard look at that. Or is this a mutually responsive relationship where there's equal power, it's based on equality, or is there a power differential? Number two, is there a pattern or a persistence to the problems, a pervasiveness to the problems? Number three, psychological impact. Are you starting to feel wore down, anxious? Do you start to have physiological problems? Yeah, your body is screaming out to you that something is really wrong. And then number four, accountability for change. Is there accountability? Does does your partner take responsibility for the ways that they've caused harm? Do they apologize? Do they take ownership, and do they make repairs to the relationship? All right, I hope this has been helpful to you. I want you to be able to determine for yourself, use your own wisdom to think about, am I in an emotionally abusive relationship, or are these typical marriage problems? If you want some more help in deciding that, determining what's going on in your relationship, reach out to us. We've got a client care team ready to help you determine what is going on in your world and what the next clearest path forward is for you. Also, click on the link to subscribe to future videos. I'm putting out content all the time and appreciate your likes, by the way. All right. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again soon.